Well, happy December, everybody. It's almost the new year. It's December 26th. And surprisingly, here in Northeast Ohio, it's in the mid 50s. Even though it's getting dark and starting to cool off. Definitely not a white Christmas. Speaking of Christmas, my nephew, who really is not into detailing cars and really doesn't know much, bought me an AutoSpa 10-inch polisher, as you can see right in front of the camera there. I made a mention on the community page of the YouTube channel that I was going to find a way for this to work. Is it any good? What are they good for? That kind of thing. I started off detailing in late 1980s with a gem orbital, very similar to this, with the exception of the fact that the casing was solid aluminum, dual handle, single speed. It was extremely heavy, and the weight of the buffer did all the work on the top surfaces. The hood, roof, trunk. The sides were another story. You had to muscle the thing around because it must weigh a good almost 20 pounds. This one here is extremely light. The gem had a 12-inch drive pad. This one has a 10-inch, as you can see with the white, black, and yellow stripes. Down here, well, the yellow is actually a foam bonnet. The box itself, the polisher itself, comes with two 10-inch bonnets. One is foam and one is microfiber. Turn these over. This is the foam. It's got an elastic band on the back, so you put it down here, wrap the elastic around, that holds it onto the polisher. The microfibers, same way. Instead of just a band, though, it's got a whole cloth. And this looks like it's fairly decently made, should hold up. It's got nice soft microfibers on it. And personally, I don't feel, just from playing with it, that the foam pad will be much good for anything except applying like a liquid cleaner wax or a very soft paste wax. And I wouldn't expect it to last very long, just because it's a very thin foam. It's not like the Porter Cable or the other high-end polishers foam pads. It's very thin. It feels very soft, but that kind of tells me that it's not going to be very durable. The microfiber pads, on the other hand, do give the appearance and the feel that they will hold up for a while. I went out to Walmart, where they sell the brand name microfiber pads. They come two in a box. I bought 2 boxes, so I had 4 extras. Now I got 5 total. And the 2 boxes ran me about $14 for 4 bonnets. Really not that expensive. When I got this, he asked me if I could actually use it, and I told him yes, which was the truth. Since I've been using my Porter Cable, all of my wax removal, polish removal, etc. has been by hand. And with the gem orbital that I originally started with way back in the day, all you had to do was switch bonnets. You used one bonnet to apply the wax, polish, compound, or whatever. Let it set up, let it cure, put on a clean bonnet, and you buffed it off. Super easy, super fast. By hand removal, it can be a bit slower. My hand is larger, but it's only this big. Compare it to this, and you've got more than double the size area wiping the surface clean. So right there, that's going to be a little bit faster. First thoughts before even using it, I think that these polisher types would be a good starter for someone who hasn't fully been bitten by the detail bug and are looking for perfection. They're just looking for a slightly easier way to wax their car. And machine is always easier. These are basically Bubba proof or idiot proof. It's extremely difficult to damage paint with that type of buffer. It's fairly low torque, fairly low RPM, and the bonnets are soft. It's not going to have a whole lot of cutting power to it. So for applying a light cleaner wax or a liquid, regular liquid wax, and then removing it, I think they would be ideal. They would give someone a taste of what machine polishing is like. Maybe that'll be good enough for them. Maybe they'll decide that they want to try a better machine and actually go for correction. These machines probably will not correct scratches, swirls, even lighter defects, but they will clean well. If you use a cleaner wax, it will definitely help deep clean the paint, and that will make it look better all on its own. Even if the swirls and scratches are still there, it'll bring you back some color and clarity. So what I did is I just finished maybe 15 minutes ago applying a coat of the ceramic graphene paste wax. This stuff with my Porter cable, because I want the torque, and basically I want the torque that the Porter cable has to help evenly apply the hard paste wax that this is. It takes a little bit of oomph to get it to spread the way it should. But I wanted to try this buffer, which is made by AutoSpa. One word, AutoSpa. I'll put a link in the description. And they've got 2 or 3 different polishers. They've got a 6-inch one, another bigger one with variable speed. But the 6-inch would probably be a good one to start with, because that's roughly the size of the more professional buffers. Most of them, like mine, use a 5.5-inch pad. To show you the difference, here's a 5.5-inch Lake Country foam cutting pad. And there it is compared to the AutoSpa, the 10-incher. You can see it covers a whole lot more area, which means you're probably going to get done with removal a lot quicker. I don't think that one this size, the 10-inch, would be good for applying waxes, simply because it is so big. You would be very tempted, and it would be very easy to use too much product, which is a waste of product. And in a lot of cases with these modern waxes, if you use too much, you're not getting it off short of a chisel. So for application, I definitely prefer the smaller pads, and the Porter cable for the torque, the small surface area that it covers, and the tiny amount of product it actually takes to cover the car. So what I'm going to do, take you off tripod, and you can see I've got a light coat all over the car. I did get to wash it earlier. I didn't do a complete detailed wash. This is just the exterior surfaces, wheels, tires, glass. I didn't get into the door jambs or anything else. It was just a basic winter maintenance wash. And what I'm going to do is put you back on tripod in a second, and I will show you how to attach the microfiber bonnet to the polisher, and then I'll run the hood, the side, a couple other areas on camera to show, does this thing work? Is it even worth going out and getting because I think it will. And so for me, if it works the way I think it is, this will be my go-to for product removal, because machine 99 times out of 100 is better than by hand. It will remove it more evenly. It has an even amount of pressure over a very large area, so you're not gonna over push or over pressure in one area, under pressure in another, and get uneven results. So give me a second, I'll put you back on the stand, show you how to apply the bonnet, and we'll get going. Okay, I've given the car a good 20-25 minutes for the ceramic acrylic or the ceramic graphene paste wax to cure. Since the temperatures are lower, it is kind of humid. I figured I'd give it a little extra time to try to make sure everything worked out well. So here is one of the microfiber bonnets. As you can see, it's one-sided. The inside is like a grippy plastic something fiber. So what you do is you turn them inside out like that. Try to center it kind of on the pad, not that really important. And just use your hands and kind of put it on like you would a fitted sheet on a bed. This thing is very light, which is why it's giving me problems putting this on. These pads are also very new, so they're tight. But there you have it. All applied, ready to go. You can see it has a very short cord, which my PC, my Porter cable, has an 8-foot cord. Makes no real difference other than the fact that instead of the polisher cord being over your shoulder, the extension cord is going to be over your shoulder. No big deal. It makes no difference whatsoever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch you around. We'll start with the hood. Give you a broader view there. I'm going to plug it in, and I'll start removing here on the driver's side of the hood. Let's see how it does. Real simple, red on-off switch. And let's get going. First thing I notice is how quiet this thing is. I can hear myself think, and you're probably able to hear me a little bit better over the sound of the polisher. And just from what I've done so far, it's working fantastic. Since it is so light, it relies completely on arm pressure. And it maybe takes 4 or 5 pounds, if that, to hold it against the surface. Okay, I got half the hood done. It's fairly smooth. It doesn't vibrate too severely. And I think you can see, get the lights in there, that it very cleanly removed the wax. I'm being lazy. You're still on the tripod. That's why it's bouncing around so much. But you can see, even as thick, relatively, as the wax is on the hood, it removed it very cleanly. No smears, no swirls, no streaks, no hazing. So I definitely think this is now going to be my go-to for wax and polish removal. It was very fast. I'm not sweaty, but of course it's only 40 some degrees now. But come summer, with the reach of that polisher and the size of the pad, that means I won't be dripping sweat on a section of the car that I just polished and got the wax off, and then I have to go back and rewipe that. That'll save some effort there. But thumbs up, at least for wax removal. And most likely, if you use the microfiber pads, application of a liquid wax or a soft paste wax would go just as easily, just as well. So I definitely think that these, basically what they're referred to on detailing forums as wax spreaders, work very well in that capacity. They're going to spread the wax just as evenly and smoothly as the more expensive polishers. Plus, just by changing pads to a clean one, you can also remove the wax with the polisher, which makes things a lot easier and goes a lot quicker. So there you have it. Let me know what you think. If you like what I do, I know this is the first time I've ever said it, but click the subscribe and notification bells, and every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Of course, being Northeast Ohio, tomorrow we'll have 10 feet of snow and I won't be even able to make it out to the garage. But if I do, then I'll put a quick coat of Flex Wax on to top the ceramic graphene paste. Normally I would do it immediately thereafter, but like I said, it's cold, it's damp, and I want to give this stuff as much time as possible to properly set up in a controlled environment. So maybe tomorrow morning I'll do the Flex. Now with spray waxes, I'm still going to use the hand application, hand removal, because it's just so easy. Paste and liquid waxes, the buffer by far applies them more evenly, more thinly, and actually if it is a cleaner wax or something with abrasives, cleaners, does a far better job than by hand could ever do. But like I said, if you are just starting into this and you don't feel the drive for perfection, and all you want is something to make waxing the car a little easier, head to Walmart, pick up one of those AutoSpa polishers. I like this 9 and 10 inch polisher for removal. It's perfect. If you want to, you could probably still use this to apply product. Just keep very mindful that it's going to be very easy to use too much. So just keep that in mind if you do get the 10 incher and want to apply with it. That's all for today. You guys have a good one.